Welcome back to our worldwide viewership. It's James Kalm, your half-assed start reporter, the guy on the bike, and we are at Orchard Street. And we're going to run into Perrotin and look at a Takashi Murakami exhibition titled Heads Heads. Oh, this piece is untitled. 2018 acrylic on canvas. 1 by 3 meters. Well, I woke up this morning and I was checking my posts at YouTube, and someone asked if I could try to cover some Pop-Surrealism, and they wondered if I could get a view of some Murakami, and I thought to myself, well, that's good, because there's a big Murakami show that's happening here on the Lower East Side. This piece is untitled, platinum leaf on canvas mounted on aluminum frame. So I popped in here last week and saw the show and decided I would have to come back and do a little video. So the title of the show is Heads and Heads. I'll read a little bit from the press release. Perrotin, New York is pleased to present a solo exhibition of the work of Takashi Murakami, the 14th in 23 years of cooperation with the artist. Spanning 3 floors, the exhibition presents for the first time in New York recent works, notably from the series Homage to Francis Bacon and the Transcendent Attacking, a Whirlwind fresco, exhibited this past October at the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. I believe this is probably one of his first shows he's had in New York in 4 or 5 years. And I was at the Frieze Art Fair last week, and they had a couple of booths. I think Gagosian had one of his booths featuring his sculptures of voluptuous waitresses and some large squirt paintings. We've got a gallery full of fairly large pieces. This is untitled. This is 300 by 700 millimeters, so we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 by 24 feet, 27 feet, something like that. Well, Murakami is probably one of the most recognized, I guess you would call it, contemporary pop. And I've never been a big fan of this work, although I enjoy the color. I think there's almost a too blatant desire to please, a little too encourageably commercial. Well, a little statement that comes to mind when I'm looking at work like this is, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And sometimes I'm thinking a certain amount of reserve or subtlety might be a good concept to think about. Actually, I'm looking at this and I'm realizing that this actually looks like some kind of mass-produced almost stickers that have been cover this ground, and it looks like a lot of these recent pieces are employing metal leaf. So out in the lobby we saw one that had platinum. This looks like gold leaf. This is Untitled 2018, acrylic and gold leaf on canvas. .300 by 1,000 centimeters, so it's about 12 by 30 feet. I have commented recently that there seems to be, for the last 5 or 6 years, there seems to be a trend among a lot of popular artists that are using shiny materials. So we've got polished bronze, we've got gold leaf, Damien Hirst actually used a bunch of zircon, and I think this is a good example of that trend. Although there are kinds of aesthetic contrasts here. So we've got the childlike wallpaper flowers played off against the large fields of gold, which I guess art historically you could say is related to Byzantine icons. This is Untitled, 200 by 200 centimeters. Acrylic and platinum leaf on canvas. Well, this is a two-part show. We're going to visit the upstairs. And, well, in the last week or so, we've visited a Wade Guyton show. And earlier today, I talked with James Hyde, who uses a lot of digital print photography. And so the technology that Murakami is using here of applying these kind of what look like mass-produced flower images, I guess that's something that's in the air. The people are looking at advertising, the internet, magazines, things like that, and the emoji stickers that people are sticking on their telephone poles and street signs. You know, I do enjoy the color, but I'm wondering where the challenge is. Okay, I can enjoy some fun art, I can enjoy beautiful art, but I always liked something that's got a little bite somehow. something that might be a little more challenging, maybe a little more critical. I know that a lot of people think that's not where art should be, but yeah, I think it's time to get out of the nursery and look at the real world. This is untitled, 2018 acrylic and platinum leaf on canvas. This is also 300 by 1,000 centimeters. Actually, there is a nice quality about these large metallic surfaces. Yeah, smiley flowers. Okay, let's go upstairs. Oh gosh. I thought there were only 2 floors. This is titled Enso Seafire, 2017.
This one is Enso Seafire.
That one is Enso Seafire. Okay.
Enso is the circle.
Okay, the illustration in the little catalog is not so clear. This is 141 by 120 centimeters. Acrylic on canvas. Okay, we got a little glitter in there. This is lying on the grasslands, pondering death and the earth of the and the ends of the universe jet black. Okay, well that's a little more existential. It's 199 by 153 centimeters. And okay, so we've got our little embossed skull forms with the black metal flake acrylic. Now these are smaller works. I'm not going to give you the title. They're all, I think, mostly heads. And they're 1 meter square. It's acrylic gold leaf and platinum leaf on canvas mounted on aluminum frame. Well, these actually look like laminated collages. I appreciate the gold and silver checkerboard pattern. Well, it seems like they've got a full court press for this Murakami show. They've had a lot of various other ancillary shows. They've been getting a lot of people to write reviews in some of the art blogs. Homage to Francis Bacon. Study of George Dyer with a 2017 sentiment. Well, I think I prefer these to the large floral murals that are downstairs. And, okay, so he's referencing Francis Bacon. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe sugarcoating the bacon is not the best way to go. This is untitled. Acrylic on canvas. Okay, so he's got a version of this on the other side that's got a gold and platinum background. Okay, well, I like this. So it looks like we've got the factory mock-ups, and yeah, so you can see how all of this is, well, it's designed like a designer would lay out his ideas and his plots and his color scheme for wallpaper or fabric. And yeah, you can see that Takashi's got a pretty big factory of designers, people working on things. But I like that they've put this in the exhibition because you get a chance to see how they're thinking about all of these products. And I know that one of the controversial things about Murakami has always been his association with commerce and the commercial art world and designers like Louis Vuitton and some of these other design firms. Okay, so well, one of the great things about working like this is you can do as many versions as you want. You have your factory cranking out things, and then you can kind of cut out various parts, isolate them, reuse elements. In a lot of ways, this is not so different than someone like Walt Disney or General Motors. Okay. Oh gosh, we've got these little some editor's okay checks on there. Okay, so this definitely references Francis Bacon. All right, I guess this would probably be, for me, one of the most interesting parts of the show. I like the way they kind of pull back the curtain and let you see the little guy who is pulling the strings, the entrepreneur that's working behind the curtain. Ooh, one more floor. Hello. Well, thank you. Well, I've never come into the Perrotin Gallery and taken the full tour, but they really have museum grade facilities here. Just make a quick walk through the installation. The exhibition presents a new series of paintings inspired by the work of Francis Bacon. The dense compositions contain the recurring motif of the artist's iconography: eyes, mushrooms, characters, accentuated by multiple layers of color on platinum leaf. In Murakami's work, the representation of flesh in motion of faces recall the transformations of Mr. D.O.B., the whimsical character, sometimes cute, sometimes monstrous and fierce, that Murakami subjects to multiple variations in his artwork. With this series, started in 2002 and continuing to 2016, the artist pursues his homage to artists, both Occidental and Oriental, that have influenced his work. Okay, I'm a fan of Francis Bacon, but as I said, I don't know whether taking Francis Bacon and sort of going into a internet cartoon version of it is kind of going to be able to really tap into the existential angst of Francis Bacon. Well, there are a lot of nice technical things. Okay, so we've got his embossed skull forms, and he's got his laminated figures, and well, he has added his gestural drippings. This is untitled. Okay, I think we saw the preliminary drawings for this downstairs. So we've got the Francis Bacon cube that the figure appears in. And again, I believe the figures are collaged together out of printed marbleized patterns. And then he's got kind of a cloisonne line work between them that he fills in with black paint. And our gold and silver backgrounds. Well, I'm wondering how successful these would be if you weren't aware of Francis Bacon. Untitled, 2018, acrylic, gold and platinum leaf on canvas, 94 by 74 centimeters each. Untitled, acrylic on canvas mounted on aluminum. Each panel is 198 by 140 centimeters. Well, actually, there is a quality about these that makes me think of Chinese enamel work. I think one of the differences between something like this and a real Francis Bacon is that this all pretty much has a shiny, homogeneous, plasticky surface, or a lacquered surface, and an actual Francis Bacon has got a lot of various kinds of surfaces, a lot of dries, and thick impasto, and even raw linen. So this is a little too contrived. Well, I think that Perrotin might be changing the landscape here on the Lower East Side. As we've seen on our little tour here, they've got enough room to show major exhibitions, and they have a crane in the stairwell where they could also be moving sculpture. Well, I kind of like that. So we've got an edge there with a bunch of drippy kind of gestural paint applications. I like the fading Ben-Day dots on the gold. Yes?
Not go past the stanchions, please.
Yes, okay.
Sorry, thank you.
All right. Wouldn't want to go past the stanchions. Okay. She's just doing her job. Well, we're going to wrap up here pretty shortly. To Untitled. So we've got the female and male characters. These are each 2 centimeters by 1.5 centimeter. Okay, well, I think this might be the most interesting piece in the show. This is all based on ancient Japanese imagery, or Chinese, I'm not sure which.
So this is actually, this room is a private viewing room. We might use some of the photos and use this room. We have the animals.
Well, I like this because it's not like the murals downstairs where you just multiply a particular image and maybe vary the colors. I think these sections of the waves and some of the starburst forms look like they're pretty unique. And if you're going to be borrowing imagery from somewhere, I'm thinking that these kind of classic, grotesque figures, for my taste, are a little more salient than just smiley flowers or emojis. This is also 300 by 1,000 centimeters. And I like these spiral designs. Okay. Oh, we can't get this into the viewfinder, but we'll try to get as much as we can. James Kalm reporting on Takashi Murakami, Heads Heads, here at Perrotin, 130 Orchard Street in New York. You can like this, share it, and subscribe. And you can leave your comments, criticisms, suggestions, ideas below. And help me with this, folks. Thank you, Kate. Don't step over the stanchions. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was great.
It feels like it's everywhere.
Gonna charge him extra for the sleeping space?